What is going on, all of you funky, fresh skaters out there in the world? I am MegaAmpster. Thank you for checking out this quick little video. If you're new here, hey, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. Returning viewers, always great to have you here. Thank you for all the support over time. I wanted to make this little video, right, to start the discussion that I'm wondering if people want to have. I've seen some videos kind of talk about this. This is our live stream footage from the launch live stream I did almost 2 weeks ago as of this recording, more like a week and a half, but wanted to talk about Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, right? This game just came out. It's been out for not that long. I just finished the main story last night as of this recording. Still have some stuff to do after that. I want to experiment with, and just kind of mess around with, I just play more of it, right? I want to talk about how this game compares to its predecessor, quote unquote, if you will. It's the game it is succeeding, which of course being Jet Set Radio, right? Specifically the Jet Set Radio Future, because, I mean, well, I don't want to say this is obvious, but I feel like, if you go back to the original Jet Set Radio, it has aged significantly. It's still fun. It's a lot of fun. It's just very, very janky. All these games are janky, right? That's kind of part of the charm about them, but like, especially that original game, it's hard to go back to. I played it maybe for the first time, what? That wasn't even 10 years ago. That was probably maybe 6, 7 years ago. I played it for the first time on Xbox Live Arcade, and it can be tough to go back to. Future, on the other hand, I just played about a year and a half ago, and that was still pretty smooth, very fun. Because of Future specifically, I'm a lot more fond of this series. The original's still great, just has aged a little bit, so keep that in mind if you do decide to go play that. But I want to talk about personally, and feel free to let me know in the comments below if you disagree, because I'm sure many people will. I personally believe that Bomb Rush Cyberfunk could be the future of this gameplay genre, and personally, I think it surpasses the game in which it's trying to succeed. I think this game is better to play than Jet Set Radio Future even. And why is that, right? Maybe you haven't played this one yet. You love the original games. You're like, oh, well, I don't know. It's not the same. It's an indie. It's a spiritual successor. It's not the game itself, right? This game is for me, this game is everything that Jet Set Radio Future encapsulated and so much more. I've seen, part of the reason why I wanted to make this quick little video is because I've seen so many reviews of this game, like big review sites, I won't say which one specifically, mention this game almost just being a copycat of Jet Set Radio. And to be honest, I pretty much disagree with that. Like, sure, of course there are going to be elements that are carried over. It is a spiritual successor. Like, of course it's going to be similar. Like, this is pretty much one of the main points about this game existing is to bring back those vibes of Jet Set Radio. And like during interviews and stuff, they don't mention it specifically, but like, of course the inspiration is there. Like, it's meant to replicate that feeling in the game. So it's also like, why are we complaining about it being too similar? But then again, I could totally understand if this game was literally like just Jet Set Radio and no new additions. And that's just complete BS, because this game introduces so much to the Jet Set Radio formula that make this game stand out, and honestly makes the gameplay even better than ever. And sure, the elements themselves aren't unique when taken individually necessarily, but combined, you know what I mean? It's the similar thing with Hi-Fi Rush for me, where it's like you combine an action game like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta with the rhythm elements, and sure, together those aren't very unique, or sorry, separate those aren't very unique, but together creates a brand new experience. That's the same situation with this game in my eyes, right? Of course, like I said, we have the core Jet Set Radio formula. You're going around different areas of the city, spraying graffiti, taking on rival gangs to try to take over the whole city. Like, of course, and you got your wacky you're not even just final bosses, but your wacky bosses, and the police coming after you and everything like that. Like, that's all standard Jet Set Radio formula, right? But even just the addition of Tony Hawk's trick system in this game, right? Obviously, on its own, it's pretty much the Tony Hawk trick system. Honestly, a little easier. Like, for example, manuals, you don't have to, or even grinding, you don't have to balance at all. It's just a time-based thing. Grinding, you're totally fine to do however long you want, really. It's just, if you're trying to rack up a combo from it, you're gonna wear out that combo over time. But with manuals, it's just a timing-based thing, right? With this, or wheelies with the bikes, for example. But like, Jet Set Radio's never had this before, and this is a complete game changer. I totally get the argument that the trick system isn't utilized super well. It's fun to do. I find it fun, like just like when I'm going around, like I'm doing here, just around the city, just doing random tricks and stuff and trying to build up the combo meter, because why not? I mean, there's some achievements for it too, but it's really the only like gameplay sense in which it's fully utilized is like when you're doing like rival races or rival like trick events against, you know, other teams. Like that's a totally fair criticism that I get. And of course, if you don't like Jet Set Radio, you're not gonna like this game. That's just, I mean, there's no if, ors, or buts about it. It is that core DNA. But adding that trick system, right? Taking an element from another game, it feels so natural. And oh my goodness, the movement options in this game are, I don't know how you could say it is not superior to Jet Set Radio, even Future, because they added well, the boost was in Jet Set Radio. The boost, like the air dash with the boost pack, that's brand new, and that feels great to have. Things like leading into rails when you take a sharp turn, that increases your boost. And of course, just the trick system itself, you can do all sorts of slides and stuff. There was a way to do, because you only had skates in Jet Set Radio, and there was a way to do like I don't even know what you call it, where you like turn your skates in and kind of, whatever the manual move is for skates. Let me know if you know what that's called in the comments below. You could do that in Jet Set Radio Future, but here, you know, it's used for keeping your combo going. And you can also, I mean, of course, you got to talk about the fact that you also have skateboards and BMX bikes in here, taking a little bit of that Dave Mirra BMX DNA. I used to play a ton of that as a kid, and it's just like, it feels so natural. It's almost one of those situations where I'm like, how is this not in Jet Set Radio before? And honestly, I think it would have been if Sega had made more Jet Set Radio games. Of course, we only got the original, we got Future. There's a Game Boy Advance almost demake of the original game, but then nothing, right? Now, supposedly there's a Jet Set Radio remake or some kind of project in the works. You know, there was that leaked footage that kind of leaked along with the Persona 3 remake footage way back when, and of course that's real now, being reload. And I'm inclined to believe that's real, but from what we saw, we barely saw anything. It looked a little janky. It was just an animation of beat dancing, but like, whatever. I personally don't care, because we have this game, and I really hope Team Reptile, I mean, I don't want them to be stuck doing Bomb Rush Cyberfunk-like games for the rest of the time. You know what I mean? I play Lethal League Blaze, love that game. They have such a unique sense of style, and I mean, they capture the Jet Set Radio vibe perfectly, you know? It was meant to be kind of that replication, so I'm not sure why some reviews are saying that it's not unique in that way when, first of all, it's meant to capture that vibe, and also, it has so much more that's unique. The one thing I will say, so obviously movement is far and away superior in this game, in my opinion. I don't even think, this is the one song in the soundtrack I do not like. Soundtrack, by the way, is very, very good. It's like, I literally do not understand how you can't say this game is unique from Jet Set Radio. The movement options alone are completely different. With, you know, the air dash, with the manuals you could kind of do, but even just the movement options, you know, while like, sure, there really isn't too much different, there is one unique thing about each different ride type, which I didn't find out until like I watched a video recently, where like there are certain things, there's usually like one ability that each of these has, like that glass floor I was trying to break there, for example, apparently only the rollerblades can do. When you do that like manual sliding move with the skates, whatever it's called. I literally just found that out, and it was bothering me for so long. I kind of wish the game would give you a little hint towards that. Skateboards and bikes also have their own ability. I won't say, just to not get into it too much, but that is a thing that makes them unique. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, sure, they're really just like different tricks and stuff, and they still kind of relatively do the same thing, so I can get that argument too. But it's just having options, man. Like, options is better than no options, right? So that's nice, and it's just like everything else with the movement is far and away superior. The soundtrack, I mean, soundtracks are always great, right? I don't want to compare soundtracks because all of them are great. I mean, I probably would put like Future soundtrack maybe slightly above this game, but this game's soundtrack is really, really good. I think Naganuma's Get Enough might be his best composition yet, but that's another point aside. What really surprised me about this game, and probably the last thing I want to get into here, is the story in this game. I won't give any spoilers, but all I will say is there are multiple plot twists in this story. And like, obviously, you know, it's not the most in-depth story. This ain't no visual novel, right? But like, I was so taken back and like shock of like how in-depth the story was. Because, you know, Jet Set Radio, of course, really didn't have much. You know, I mean, sure, there's like the Rokaku group, and then, you know, the final boss, I forget his name, DJ whatever. You know, there's like that whole aspect to it, and like, sure, you're taking down different gangs, you get to interact with them a little bit, but like, they give each crew a little bit more personality here. They're still just kind of like whatever, but like, the main story going on with the Bomb Rush crew and like the police force and DJ Cyber, who you see at the very beginning of the game, is way more in depth than I would have expected. I was genuinely like jaw dropped at a few moments during the plot, like during the story unfolding. You know, after you take out each rival gang, you get a little more of that juicy story. I was looking forward to it. I was like, okay, what plot twist is gonna happen next? And that, like, literally, it shocked me. I won't say anything else, but like, I mean, this game easily has way more freaking story than the Jet Set Radio games did. And even then, like, I feel like because of that, mainly the core trio, Red, Trice, and Bell, I feel like, and even like DJ Cyber, I feel like they have like slightly more character than those characters from Jet Set Radio. Like, I mean, Beat, Gum, dude, I don't even freaking remember the others. You know, like, they're iconic, sure. But like, is that because of their character, or is that because of their designs and because they like they're just, you know what I mean? Like, I can't say it's because of their character. Jet Set Radio never really had that much character. The game itself has character, sure, but the characters, are they character? Anyway, before that gets too convoluted, yeah, I think mainly the main trio get a lot of character in this game, and then DJ Cyber and that whole situation. Without getting too much into spoilers, it's just like way more in depth in terms of story than I would have expected from a game like this. You know, I got that hint based on the trailer that like, oh, there might be a little more story, but there was more story than I was expecting. It's kind of wild. Also, the phone is great for this game. I didn't use it a whole lot, except for mainly like finding different graffiti and stuff like that, and playing different music that I wanted to. You know, the music player is phenomenal. I mean, I'm sure if another Jet Set Radio game came out after Future, probably would have integrated a music player, because I don't even think Future had it. There we go, we're dancing. Last quick thing I want to talk about is just like what I think Jet Set Radio Future in particular has over this game. Honestly, my main gripe is no DJ Professor K like personality, really. This game doesn't have that at all. And I think, like, I mean, I don't know if there were like potential like racial stereotypes with, you know, him being black. I don't know if like the way they portrayed it could be seen as like offensive, I'm sure, but different culture back then. So I wouldn't want them to do anything like exactly like that, but like at least some kind of like central character like that. Like, that was, for me, a big part of the game, like him going Jet Set Radio, you know what I mean? Like, DJ Professor K, he's sick. So that's one thing this game is missing. I think if they had some central character like that, I mean, if you're gonna go out of your way to be this blatant about being a spiritual successor, like, I feel like you should have that. But then again, maybe they just wanted to do something different, or they were afraid fans wouldn't like someone who's not like DJ Professor K. I don't know, but it would have been nice to see that. The one thing I'm still getting used to, and I'm very like hit or miss on this, is the graffiti spraying system itself. In this game, you have a lot of options, which is cool. So you can unlock so many different types of graffiti, and the directions you input change what graffiti actually displays on the spots where you spray it, right? Whereas Jet Set Radio, instead of just like random directional inputs, you have to like tilt the thumbstick in predefined patterns. So I like that aspect about the customization with this game. It did take some getting used to. I wish these single graffitis were way snappier like they were in Future. I think that was definitely a missed opportunity. Like, we don't need to play the animation every time. So yeah, just a quick little thing. It's more just like an adjustment. I think this system is better. It's more approachable, I think, and you get way more customization options. It's just an adjustment for sure. But like, mainly, I don't want to go on too long ranting about this, but like, this game is literally the future, in my opinion, of this gameplay style. This is such a big evolution, and that's why I don't agree with some reviews out there. I won't say which sites, like I said, just saying this game isn't unique, because sure, it is a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio, but it has plenty unique. Adding in the Tony Hawk trick system and the different movement options is huge. Completely changes the game. Play this game, then go back to Future and just see how different. Future, if I ever replay Future, it's going to feel stiff in comparison. I thought Future felt stiff when I played it a year and a half ago. It was still better than the original, but it was still like, well, it's a little stiff. I'm running into walls a lot. And this game, almost none of that. There might have been a couple instances where I like trapped myself in a wall because I was like, you know, my turn wasn't sharp enough or something, but very rarely did that happen with this game. And sure, you could chalk up, okay, maybe it's because I'm more experienced with the genre, but then again, I think it's just the movement system is so much better. And for me, that's a big part about this game, right? Is the movement, and they nailed it here. And like, that's why I'm like, if Sega does do something with Jet Set Radio that is in this style of a game, well, not whatever their stupid super game thing is, you know, in an actual Jet Set Radio style game, I hope they take lessons from Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, because obviously not fully copy it, but like there's a lot to be learned here. The combat too, now that I'm thinking about it, not that combat's a huge focus here. Not only spraying, you know, spray paint on cops and actually being able to like kick them and do cartwheels into them, that's kind of a cool thing. Just more, this game has so much many more options and quality of life things. I mean, granted, you could say it's not fair to compare because this game is more than 20 years after Future, right? But I don't know. I just, when I'm seeing these review sites saying that this game is not unique and doesn't, you know, it's just copying its predecessors, that's a load of horse shit. I'm sorry, that is a load of bull. And you should play this game if you really liked Jet Set Radio in Future, for sure. And maybe you'll feel the same way as me, maybe you won't, I totally get it. I think maybe some people may look at Jet Set Radio with rose-tinted glasses when this is the evolution right here, man. I think this game is far and away better than both the original and Future. I do. Future's great, Future's fun, but this game, it's got Future and so much more. And that's why I wanted to make this video, just to kind of highlight some of those things, because I don't know if they're getting talked about enough. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you agree with me? If you don't, I mean, is this the future of the Jet Set Radio formula, or should we go back to Future? Do you like Future more still? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all on the next video or live stream. And until then, stay funky.